Hi, welcome to How Do I Know You with your host Mark Dwayne and Adelfa. Say hi, guys.
What up?
What up?
And today's topic is cultural appropriation.
What?
Culture appropriation.
I think you mean cultural.
What did I say?
You said culture.
Same thing.
Doesn't matter. Niggers.
You just say it, and then I'll be like, cover your mouth with the mic, and I'll just say it, and I'll just dub it. So that's the topic. And the first thing is...
We're talking about blackfishing. So we just saw a video about, I forgot her name on Instagram, but...
She's Polish, so I don't know.
Yeah, she's a white girl who basically uses darker makeup and self-tanners and all this other stuff. And she looks like a mixed or a light-skinned black girl, but she's white. So she's an influencer online, and she's getting all these sponsored posts and free products and free clothes to, post about like influencers do. But recently she was called out because she's passing as a black woman or a mixed woman, to which she responded that she's not. She never said she was. She never denied her whiteness. And it's a shit show.
And it's becoming more of a thing.
Yeah.
It's not just her. It's like a lot more people.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Bro. I don't get like the mental gymnastics you have to do to justify that. Like the whole like, well, I didn't say, like people just assume, so like that's on them.
Right, without acknowledging the shit that you're doing to make people assume that you are something.
It's the reverse Michael Jackson, just
leave Michael out of this. Dwayne, you're black.
Oh, yeah.
I just noticed, so
Hi, guys.
I'd like your opinion on this.
I'm dark. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what this was until this video, like 3 minutes ago. So this is like, it's funny in my head just thinking about it. But cause she was thick, boy. The nigga in me don't care. I'm sorry. But no, okay. So yeah, this is all right.
Wait. Okay, okay. Dwayne's taken. He has a girlfriend he loves very much.
Right.
We all know that.
Right.
Let's just, for the sake of the show, pretend that that's not the case.
Okay.
And you're talking to this girl, and you think she's like a light-skinned black girl.
Okay.
And she's thick, and she's beautiful. And then you meet her family, and everybody's white.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel? What do you think?
Oh,
like you go
in that
for
initial
Christmas
moment,
dinner, and everybody's white, and she's like, "Here's my family.
We gotta have a conversation.
And my birth parents."
We have to have a conversation.
Oh, birth parents. She says that.
So to be serious about it, that would be like, what the fuck? Because obviously you portrayed something, and clearly I'm pretty sure that by my reactions or the way I would speak with her and about certain things, she would know that I think she's obviously black or of some black descent. So that would obviously that's a big no because you're basically just lying. You're a fraud.
The lie of omission or something like that. A lie of omission.
What is that?
Basically,
a lie of omission.
Omission, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, on the from that standpoint, yeah, completely. I would be like, oh yeah, we can't do this shit. What the fuck? Because that's just on the level of deceit. Because that's like, you spent this whole time just lying to me, trying to portray something that you thought I would like or thought I'd be cool with or whatever. Because you don't know. I could have liked you just for being white. It wouldn't happen. But you don't know that. But so obviously taking it to a bigger scale of things, yeah, clearly you're using the way black women look, their body types and things like that, just for self-promotion. But you don't have to deal with any of the real life shit on a daily basis because she's pretty much, it seems like, at least in that video, or people who do this, it seems like they're only black for the picture. Yeah. And then after after the picture.
For the cops.
No,
I want to get shot.
no.
What is it's like everybody wants to be a nigga, but
Nobody
nobody
want to be the nigga. Nah. You don't want to be a nigga. But yeah, I didn't know this was a thing. This is a thing because I mean, when you told me about it, and then I learned what it was, I instantly thought of the whole Rachel Dolezal, I think that's her last name, chick. And looking back, she gets a little bit of credit here because she at least went all out. She went all in.
Like, it wasn't just for the picture.
Yeah.
It was
She
like
really felt like
24/7.
She felt like she was black.
Okay.
So,
which is also fucking psychotic,
but
in
hey,
and of itself.
Yeah.
she fucking was what? She was like a prominent like figure in the NAACP,
But
right?
wait a
Like,
second. But
that's
wait,
crazy.
even that, because she was there, but then she was sending herself like death threats and nooses.
Yeah.
So like, that's so fucking.
That was the white part of
psychotic
it.
to
That was
me.
the white part.
That's the white part.
That
to
wasn't the
me.
black part.
She's like,
The white part was racist against
I
her black
wanna-
part. God damn.
I hate your nappy hair.
Jekyll and Hyde. Jesus Christ.
What if it was really like that when the cameras were off?
It probably was.
Holy shit! Like, she's just staring at herself in the mirror and just does that like back and
The
forth. and-
Jekyll and Hyde. She
Holy
has the two
shit.
faces.
You ain't black, bitch. Yes, I am. It was just back and forth. But yeah, like looking at this, wow, I didn't know they were making like a living off this shit. This is crazy. Why is this not a bigger thing?
I think it's starting to become a bigger thing because they have a name for it now.
Yeah.
But like,
Blackfish.
Catchy.
I mean, it's kind of led up to that. Right? Like the whole Kardashian like ass shots and like
I was gonna
that
get in
whole
there.
like body modification nonsense, that like the lip injections, the ass shots, the boobs,
Right.
the tanning.
Right.
So you do all these things to promote yourself to get shit, but there's no ever standing up or protesting or
None at all.
speaking out.
Never.
So I feel like all of that was just like leading up to this moment where now people are being outed for blackfishing.
You can pay to be black. That's wild.
Right.
That's crazy.
But nobody
Where do I
wants
sign
to
up?
be black. At the end of the day, you want to look it and have the features, and you want to say nigga every now and then.
and then fucking be in all the cool circles.
Right.
I don't even know. She's Polish, so she has to have an accent, right? How the fuck she get away with that?
She does. I don't think she posed. Oh no, but she was doing like makeup tutorials and shit, and she would put on like imagine fucking. I can't even imagine. I don't know what to say.
what if
I'm
everyone-
just like angry.
What if everyone thought that was like, oh, that's a nice African accent she has?
Right.
Like, well, because like, no, what does a
They're
Poland
all
accent looks like?
fucking
What does that sound like?
uncultured.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Know, man.
So it's just like any accent she had, it was like, that's got to be African because like, look at that.
God.
Oh damn! They make them in Poland. I fuck with that. But
we need to start fucking more Poland.
that's the shit for real.
Would it make a difference if she was like protesting and like fighting for black rights?
No.
No.
Okay, cool.
Next question.
Just no.
No.
No, I
'Cause-
don't think it would. I think it's just like there's so much that comes with being black that like you stand it's that you can't empathize with black people. Like you have to live that shit to understand what a day-to-day life is. So even if you're protesting, you're still posing as something you're not. You're still going to go and get that job without having to try too hard.
What would it like in this crazy scenario that would never happen because of whatever? What would be the scenario to where she did this and it was okay? What would have like where would the stars have to align for that to be the case? Is there one?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because I always go back to like the Lance Armstrong thing where he made like how much money for like charities and did all these good causes,
But
and
he
then
cheated.
Yeah, but then he cheated. Like they found out that he cheated and did like this fucked up shit. Like does it really matter at that point that he cheated? Like
Or
he did all this good stuff.
The fucking Chappelle joke on Bill Cosby. He saves but he rapes.
yeah.
Like what's
But,
more?
like, I feel like cheating and blackfishing, like cheating is like, okay, you're kind of a dick. Blackfishing is like you're really making money off of shit that like Like, black people don't get that.
What if she was donating all that money, like all of it, to like a charity or something?
Okay, Mark Corner, let's go.
Yeah,
let's go. Put your hands up, nigga. Put your hands up. Ooh, she moving.
I learned this from BET.
They gonna cancel your ass after this.
This is
like
the
a
last
BT show.
podcast you'll see.
That's right. I'm gonna start blackfishing. Watch me on. Call me.
Say something.
What?
Say something right now.
I can't think of a black version of my name.
Call me Marcus.
Oh yeah, Mark. That was right there. Damn it. I missed it.
It was right there. He's
It's
just like,
2 more letters.
what's a black name?
Dwayne. Dwayne's one. Call me Dwayne.
Funny thing is, really not. It's like more white people have my name than niggas. That's just
Wrestlers.
crazy. Yeah, and wrestlers. Oh, speaking of cultural appropriation, that nigga. But we gonna get on him. But sorry, continue.
Because I always try to think of a scenario that would never happen because it would have to be someone completely like selfish and doing like this fucked up shit for a good reason, which no one ever does fucked up shit for a good reason.
But why? Like, okay, let's use your scenario. Let's say she's making.
We're basically just talking about the Rachel Dolezal chick, by the
Yeah.
way. So,
Right. Okay. Let's say she's making tons of money. Who are we talking about? Rachel or the?
No, he's talking about the model, but I'm like,
Okay.
the way he's positioning it, we're basically talking about the Rachel
Okay.
chick.
Let's talk about the model, and then we'll go back to Rachel. What's the point of posing as a black person to do, like, why not just do it as a white person?
One of
Which
those
is
things
what Rachel could have done and
Yeah.
would have probably been so successful and even like more famous for something good, where we'd like an ally because we need allies, you know? So what's the point of donating all this shit when, like, just do it as yourself. Don't do it as this fucking Instagram influencer that looks black and isn't.
I want to say it's because like I'm gonna use a simplified version of this. Like if I went out without a hat and I got no attention, but then I went out with a hat and I got all this attention, and it was just the hat that changed. I feel like it's just one of those accidental things that she was just like, oh, I'm gonna try this and see what happens. Well, it wasn't like an accident because it takes time to do
that
that
took
shit.
a whole
But
bunch
like,
of time.
she tried it one day and then she saw that like, oh, I gotta like this is making me pop. So
But
I'm
then
gonna keep doing
she's
this.
really not popping if she has to go through all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to leave the house with a fucking cake face full of makeup on every day and got attention, that's the only way I got attention. I'm obviously not that pretty if I can't leave the house without fucking
Boy,
makeup on.
You don't know half the girls in this city, do you?
But that's it. Like, you're not, if you can't do it
Still
as
fuck.
you... Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
We all look the same in the dark, right?
So disgusting. Oh my
Just find
god.
something to grab and thrust away.
I don't discriminate against you
Now we
ugly
know.
bitches.
Mark and Dwayne's sex life. Just as long as the lights
The
are
old
off.
switcheroo. God damn it.
All right, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, sorry. Still a bunch of fucked up.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
Continue.
Sorry.
Continue.
I'm posing this like it's never gonna happen.
She's
because
thinking
it's-
about it too.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
She's like, they probably would fuck. That's
Probably has happened in this apartment.
you nasty motherfuckers.
Can you speak for the rest of the podcast like that? Just please.
So I'm just saying, like, even if you weren't, like, I get it, like, you weren't you. Like, even if like you can't pop off being yourself, but you could pop off being this thing that you created that's like you, whatever.
This is basically just celebrities.
Yeah,
we're talking about.
yeah. Like, so if you created this character, this persona, and you pop off with that, and you do all this good stuff, and it just so happens to be you get caught blackfishing, like, oh, this person was white the whole time. Like, how much good do you have to do to where like that doesn't really matter? And I only bring this up because someone recently told me this. I did not fact check this, but the Nazi scientist that created the gas chambers was also the person that figured out how to take nitrogen and put it back into soil so that you keep reusing the soil, like the nutrients, all that crap. And they said without that, the planet would only be able to sustain like 3 to 4 billion people, and we're way past that. So we would have been like a dead planet or a dead race.
But wait,
If it wasn't for that guy.
He created the gas chambers. Was it his choice to put people in it?
Yeah. So like the Nazis, like they created it for that reason, to kill a whole bunch of Jewish people. So by like if you're looking at just numbers wise, he has saved way more lives than he's killed.
But that
But
doesn't
does
make
that
him
matter?
any less of a murderer.
He won a Nobel Prize.
But it doesn't make him any less of a
No, yeah,
murderer.
it doesn't. But that's the thing. It's just like,
Right.
like his thing like with the nitrogen was so good that they gave him a fucking Nobel Prize. Like,
Dwayne loves all the Jews. Tell you that right.
you know what I mean? But it's like at what point, like,
Not
does any of that
fucking
stuff matter? Does any of that stuff, you know? Like, how much good do you have to do
I don't
before you're like
know.
the really horrible bad shit like doesn't matter anymore?
I mean, if you want to go all in, if you're talking about Nazis, I mean, the way we like fight today, war is all we just followed Hitler's blueprints. If you want to be honest, but no one's gonna say it.
Propaganda. What is it? What? Propaganda. Wow. I kept wanting to say propaganda.
But it's from like propaganda to blitzkrieg and everything. He created the style of war that we fight today, which is sneak attacks and doing whatever the fuck I want to do it. And because back before him, it was all official. Excuse me, sir, I'm going to come to your doorstep and we're gonna have like nah. He was like, fuck all that. You ain't get no warning. Take all these bombs. Suck my dick. It's over. Like, and then that's what we do now. So without him, like this doesn't exist. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, and then that's
go
like
full
I want
bore.
to like. It's just how much. I guess that's really the question I'm asking is how much good do you have to do before like this bad stuff doesn't.
I guess I'm wondering, like, you're doing all this good, but you're still a bad person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't matter because it's not real. Like, you're not a really good person that's doing good shit. I feel like you're a fucked up person that's doing good shit to get by or to get praise or whatever the case is. Like, I don't think that came from a good place. So I feel like but that's the thing, if it did come from a good place, she wouldn't be doing it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's just like kind of food for thought because there's really no answer to it.
There's
all
an
opinion
answer,
based.
you're a piece of shit.
I was just gonna say that when it comes to that scenario or whatever, her doing whatever she's doing. So let's just keep the same scenario, and she's doing it as posing as a black female or whatever, or black woman. Whatever she's doing, posing as a black woman. Not only is she taking an opportunity from an actual black woman, but she could have done twice the good as a white woman, just speaking and like pretty much advocating this as a white woman for black people. So it doesn't like her doing it as a black woman, like it's cool, but she's not black one, and it still didn't equate what she could have done. Like it's the same thing if you take the whole Colin Kaepernick thing and how like when he did what he did and he took his stance and everything, it was like niggas would back him up and they were like, yeah, we support you. We're also not gonna, we don't fuck this anthem. We're gonna kneel and do all this shit, or we're not gonna come out and all this stuff, right? All we really wanted, like what would have changed this whole narrative, let a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers would have been like, you know what? I'm with him. Donald Trump, he can't say shit no more or whatever because you have one of the faces of this league who was white, who was like, nah, I stand with him. Now what?
Yeah.
But because no one did it, this is why the backlash that came from it because anyone who was like to white people or to white America who was like, oh my God, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees, whoever. All like this is why I really like shit like that is trash because all you niggas, you make money off of niggas. Like niggas help you get to these positions, but then when niggas want some help, you sit back and you like, nah, man, I can't do it. Like, that's gonna mess up my brand. That's gonna mess up whatever. And I'm like, that's the stuff that's crazy because I can't think of how it's like these people sit in huddles with you, or they sit like y'all talk to each other every day. You see them, and then you could have said something and you didn't. And like, so I put it on the same level as that. So her being white, she could have did way more good doing the same exact thing than her posing as someone black and doing whatever, whatever she did, which is why the Rachel Dolezal thing, while it's great, she did all that stuff and she was trying to advocate for black people, she would have done way more if she just would have been white. She couldn't have changed shit. I know a whole bunch of white people who live around here who act like black people anyway, and they're accepted. Like, you don't have to, you don't have to change nothing. We don't care how you look, honestly.
Yeah.
Back to my point, she would have got fucked either way. She was thick. but
that's I guess that's the real issue with cultural appropriation. That it's like they take credit for something black people created. They take credit. First they shit on it. They're like, ew.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They start doing it. They when it becomes popular, they take credit like they made it.
Right.
And then if black people do end up doing it, like still because they still do it.
Now it's
like, but it's still shitty when they do it.
History's just flipped, and now it's like, oh, you're copying this person or you're copying that person.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna pose this right now. Haven't we kind of, and maybe not knowingly, maybe it is a systemic thing, haven't we been kind of chasing white culture as like minorities as well? Because there's a thing that people forget when it comes to this stuff. Like back in the day, I remember when like having natural curly hair was like not the thing, right? So there was a lot of like black girls who were trying to like straighten their hairs because like the image of like attractiveness was like this white woman or whatever, right? And then it went from like contacts. Remember the fake contacts where they were like trying to have blue eyes and shit? And then it went to skin lightening and shit like that. So it's like
that, but I equate to just like years and years of being told you're ugly and blah blah blah, and then it brainwashes you into thinking like I have to do this.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, is it more of a systemic thing or is it also cultural appropriation?
I don't think it's cultural appropriation because there's no culture there. There just isn't. Like, and I can get all the hate in the world, but I don't feel like there's a such thing as white culture. There's nothing there. What's white culture? Like, I can't name one thing that's white culture because it doesn't really exist.
Unseasoned chicken.
Right.
Shit
right.
is gross.
So I feel like people doing all that shit, it's what Mark said, like it's been how many thousands of years of like these Eurocentric beauty standards that we were fed, where it's like, all that like getting your hair straightened meant, okay, you're going to get this job at the interview today versus going in with the fro and like you're not going to get it. So it's also like a survival tactic.
Right.
Because I get treated differently if, like, when I freshly wash my hair and my curls are really, like, loose, people are, like, the nicest to me. But when it's all frizzy and froed out, I get treated like shit everywhere I go. And,
you a nigga again.
Right. And so, any hint or any, like, confirmation of blackness, people don't want it, and they haven't wanted it for years. So I feel like that's what led black women and black men, leaving their hair short forever. Because, like, seeing a fro meant...
You's a dirty nigga.
Right. So I feel like that's what that is. But with everything that people are doing with black culture, whether it's hair or music or, like, street style now is in fucking runway shows. But you have to understand that, like, that's the same shit that we've been doing forever. Bamboo earrings in forever. Acrylics on forever. Hair, like, box braids forever. We got shitted on. We lose jobs. You lose housing. You lose your kids. You lose whatever.
Yep.
Because of who you are. And now white people come in and get their hair braided. And it's like the Kim Kardashian boxer braids.
The
just
fresh
the
new look.
Yeah.
The Kylie Jenner braids or whatever.
Or the fucking, like, the ass shots or the lip injections. Like,
Come
you
on,
know,
man.
and even like you could take a scroll through fucking Twitter and see all the people who are like, I was shitted on forever for having big lips and now people are paying for it. And to this day, black women are shitted on for the same things that white women are basically stealing from them, that, you know, they're getting all the credit for and praise.
Just to hop on one little thing, I don't get how big lips were like shitted on, because thin lips are gross. Like if you ever kiss thin lips, it just it's gross.
But
Anyways,
I feel
continue.
like
So I'm
it's
trying
all
to
that
ask you,
hate.
honestly, why you don't fuck with black girls? I don't get it, man.
It's all the hate.
because it's hard. I'm scared.
We have to find you a black girlfriend.
I've been trying. I've been talking to this one girl on Instagram actually. She's black.
Stop
Out.
shouting
Very
people
beautiful.
out
Huh?
and letting them know.
What?
Who...
I
Oh no,
I didn't
this
say
may
her
be a
name.
good thing. Okay.
I didn't say her name. It's just all his facial expressions. Pretend I'm doing them.
No, I'm doing them
No, you're doing-
as you.
Yeah.
It's like
Trying to copy.
I fuck on the first date,
See you Friday, bitch.
Yo,
and
I'm
I don't
easy,
pull
girl.
out. Let's get it.
It's a bragging point. Don't pull out, girl.
Look, 99% pregnancy efficiency. Just want you to know that.
Must be great.
Go
I
ahead.
forgot what we were talking about.
Damn it,
Fuck.
man.
At what point does it become appropriation? Like, because in middle school,
Oh yeah, here we go.
I had gotten cornrows, but I never thought, like, I never was just like, oh, like this is my style. It was because I saw cool black people have it.
I was
and
about to
just
say the
like,
people
dope.
that you liked had
Yeah,
it.
and that's why I was just like, oh, this is dope. But I never claimed to be like, oh, I made this style. So is it a point? At what point would it have become, or is it cultural appropriation when I did that?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard for me to say because, like, we're related. So I feel differently about you, you know? And I have friends that I've worked with. Like, I remember working with this girl who's white. She's the shit. But, like, she's white, was born and raised in the Bronx. Has a genuine love and appreciation for absolutely anything black, anything reggae, you know, I'll see her with like cornrows in her head and I'm just like, yeah, that's you. But because I know her, I'm like, I know it's not coming from any malicious place, or I know it's not coming out of like, oh, this is trendy. It's really just how she was brought up basically, you know, in a black neighborhood. And so that's all she knows. Where I feel like right now, everything that's going on is coming from the fact that like, oh, this is a trend. Oh, okay, I'm going to do this and, you know, see what I can get from it. Or like, this will be good for Instagram likes, or this will be good for YouTube. So I feel like it's different. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like, I don't know.
What do you think?
From that, like the term or like today's standards, it was a cultural appropriation, but like it's the same thing. Me being your boy, I never saw it that way, but also you have to think about it looking at when you did it or whatever. Like, here's the thing: when you had cornrows, right? Were they ever like sometimes frizzy or anything like that?
Frizzy, like it popped out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think at one point I had them long enough to where it started getting that way.
Okay. At any point, did anyone ever look at you differently, or were they still like, "Oh, Mark, that's cool. Like you have cornrows and things like that"?
Yeah. It was the second one. They just kept thinking it was.
It was cool, right?
Yeah.
That's where you won't go through what we would go through in that situation. Cause like for us with stuff like that, it's like it has to be pretty much like pristine every day. Like her braids right now, they have to be like that. Mm-hmm. If she walked out and they was like trash or whatever, like they look kind of off or whatever, done deal. Like
So if I had box braids and I'd walk out and they're just a little messy, it'd be fine.
right.
For me.
Because you won't deal with the same amount of shit that we're gonna deal with. Like you won't be perceived as like ugh, like or perceived as like, oh, she needs to wash her hair, or oh, she dirty or whatever. You're gonna be perceived as like, oh, he's fine. like or whatever. Like, oh, it's because he has long hair. I get it, whatever. And then
Yeah.
like when we do it, there's stigmas behind it. Like longest time, I could never have long hair. I could never braid my hair because back in the day when it came to that was all associated with thugs. So you couldn't do shit like that if you was black. So my family was hell no. Like, all right, my cousin is one of the only people that I know who still has like braids like that or whatever, right? And he he's always judged, no matter where he goes.
Yeah.
He just looks like, oh, he's a bad person.
It's true. I did judge him when I met him.
And that's what I'm saying, because that's where to me it's cultural appropriation, because you won't deal with the same shit that we're gonna deal with the same way, which I always find it funny. Like you would like have all these like pro black shirts and everything that would rep like all this shit, and I knew that you generally liked. It wasn't even like some shit, whatever, right? But again, it's this, and then you even told the story about you said you had a shirt or something where they were like, "Why do you have that nigger on your shirt?" or whatever.
Oh
right?
yeah, it was like,
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like shit like that or whatever. Like we can't even really get off like that because we're making political statements and shit like that. Like it's not even just. It's like we could just like the show just like you.
Yeah.
And things like that. Like we have to really. And this is growing up as a kid. Now you can do what you want. Well, you still got to think about it really. But growing up as a kid, I had to really think about what the fuck I had to wear. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you had to do that.
That was that Atlanta episode. You remember that Atlanta episode?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
The white
Like
kid was just like, who cares?
Right.
It's just a shirt. It's a t-shirt.
That's what I'm saying. Like I had to worry about like, all right, I like pro clubs. I like all white pro clubs because like they fresh. Like you look fresh or whatever, right? But if you remember going to Bancroft or whatever when pro clubs became a thing,
Yeah.
they banned this shit because all the blacks and Latinos, they said it was gang culture. It was a white shirt in Lakewood. Who the fuck is doing anything gang related in Lakewood?
In a middle school.
But the white kids who would do it, it was fine. It was okay. It wasn't a big deal. It was just a shirt. And it kept being like that to the point where we had to, and niggas started to do this where we would like flip the pro club inside out, and then it would show the tag and everything like that. Basically, so it looked like it was just like some like dirty shirt or whatever because we couldn't even go in with it as like just a regular white tee and everything like that. And it's like it goes on and on from like all that shit. Like whatever you want to do that you're not a part of culturally. If you're not a part of that culture, you have the ability to get away with it without dealing with the repercussions of the shit.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel like it's cultural appropriation. But like I said, knowing you, I didn't think it was.
Isn't it funny, like the whole like when white people do it, it's like it's fine, because like I don't get how white people are okay with it, because it's basically saying like you're such like a bitch, a non-threat, that like you could do all this stuff and it's fine because like we know you're not gonna do nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's so like I don't get how white people are okay with it. That's so weird to me. Like you're being called a bitch, just a lame. Like everyone thinks that. That's weird. But whatever. That's
I'm telling like it'll always be that way because to white people that see other white people copying someone's culture or whatever, they don't even consider it as like this is them. They consider it like a phase or like like they're just going through some shit or whatever.
yeah. Like they'll grow up and they could wipe off the makeup and then still get a job. No
Right,
problem.
exactly. Which is
That's
true.
that-
Like they can.
Yeah.
There was I forgot whose tweet it was, but it was like I don't know if it was a real article or a fake one about Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter, who said that she considers herself a black woman. And the article was like, when have black people ever sat down and considered themselves black? Like we don't get that choice. That's a deep thought behind considering and acknowledging that this is what you want to be. Like black people don't get that. They don't have that option. You're just black. You don't sit there and go, I consider myself black. Like you're just black. The world sees you as black. The world treats you as black. So when you do anything, it's just already seen as like below whatever.
So until you start dealing with the negative consequences of like doing Just even your hair. Like you will always be appropriating that cultural.
Yeah, I feel like, and I've seen all the comments where it's like, but it's just hair. It's a hairstyle. You can't tell me I can't wear this hairstyle. And it's like, you're gonna do it if you want to do it. Like, and that's you. But you can't sit there and deny that you're appropriating a culture that gets shitted on and is still being shitted on, even by the people who sit there and want to wear fucking box braids and do all this shit. Like, you still, I'm sure, fucking hold your bag a little closer when you see a black guy coming down the street. Like, you still have some kind of racist in you. So for you to sit there and want to be a part of something that you can't fully appreciate, that you can't stand up for, that you can't empathize with, like, it's a problem.
The thing I kind of want to like make clear is I don't think any of us are saying that you can't like be a part of the culture or you can't enjoy like the culture, because we get it. Like,
wear the shit.
Yeah, like black culture is very popular. We pretty much rule. Like, anything that we make cool is cool. Like, so we get that. What we're trying to like get, I guess, people who aren't black or just white people in general really to understand is you can. It's like having a house guest. It's like, come in, respect the rules.
And
right?
Then get the fuck
and then
out.
Get the fuck out. Like,
You don't need to move in.
Don't take anything.
Right.
Like, and this is what they do. They come in. We're like, all right, that's fine. Here's the stuff. And they're like, oh, that's nice. Can I borrow that? Sure, go ahead. You can wear it. Just bring it back. Niggas don't ever bring it back. They walk away with it. Then they fucking go out to their house and whatever. Oh, I found this from some thrift store. And now it's fucking, I call it this or whatever. And it's like, no, you didn't.
Your white person impression is always British.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
like the other one is like a country white person. So I'm like, whatever, man. Like, you know what I mean? So like, that's the thing that I hate, because they like, and I had a friend at my last job who she was going to Coachella. And she kept telling me, and she was like, oh, Dwayne, I'm gonna get braids. I'm gonna get braids for Coachella. And I was like, all right, cool, do it. That's fine. And then, like, she got the braids, or she was getting the braids, and I was like, who's gonna braid your hair? And then I was like, because if you go to a white girl, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, let me tell you something. She's like, no. My friend knows someone. First of all, the friend she was talking about was, I believe, mixed. So this is already. Like,
that's that bridge.
Yeah, this is the bridge, right? So she ended up going in L.A. because she lived in Orange County. She ended up going to L.A. and this black girl ended up braiding her hair, and she did. It looked like super dope, and she was just like, she's like, see, I told you guys. She sent us a text and everything. She's like, see, I told you guys, like, I got the Kylie Jenner braids, and I was like, wait, what? Like, hold on. What? Like, and she was like, yeah, they're just like Kylie's, and she like sent a picture of Kylie Jenner, and I was like, hold the phone here, wait a minute, those aren't hers. She didn't start that. Or like, you can look at anyone, like, legit, she looked like Nipsey Hussle. That's why I was like laughing at this shit, because I'm like, you look like damn near every nigga I done known since I was like 6. Like, I don't see, like, and you said Kylie Jenner, but then a part of me was really angry because I was like, what the fuck? But then a part of me understood. This is all she doesn't know, like, niggas like that. She knows me, and she knows, like, maybe a couple other niggas, right? But she don't know, like, there's this whole, like, world where this is a thing. It isn't like a cool style for a day. You know what I mean? Like, and it was crazy because she, like, really genuinely was like, this is Kylie's thing. Like, she made it popular. And I'm like, are you, like, it was frightening because I'm like, oh, you're not kidding, like, you're serious with this. And then like,
so disgusting.
We went through all this stuff, and I was like, and I remember it was like all of us were all sitting at work, and I was like, so do you think like Miley Cyrus created twerking? And she's like, no, of course not. It's like, she didn't even have a button or anything like that. And I was like, do you realize like the word twerk was in songs in like the 70s and like 60s? Like, it's been a thing already. Like, this is what and I had to like teach her. I'm like, this is what happens. They, like, you guys take shit.
That right there, I remember hearing a story when it was just a black thing, it was like seen as bad and like just this shitty thing. And then when she started doing it, all of a sudden, like, these news outlets were like, the benefits of twerking and how it'll help your back. And it was just like, what? Like, what? Like, what the fuck happened?
If you remember, this is like going back to like the old music video days or whatever. because it was only seen in black videos or urban videos, they legit made girls stop turning completely backwards. So what would happen is BET, MTV made all these standards to where a girl couldn't like turn and like basically show her butt to the camera and shake her butt. She would have to go from the side. They would have like legit like time, time permits where like if you do this, you're gonna do it for like 6 seconds. That's it. So in the videos, if you go back to those old videos like 99, 2000 and shit, look at them. It's real quick edits, real
For
quick
research,
edits.
I will.
Like, or whatever, right? And then this is why things like BET Uncut was created. Because it was like, legit, they were like, we don't want to see this because it's sexual. It's too sexual. It's smutty and everything. But then you'll have this rock band, they're singing and the girl's like doing a strip tease on the pole. And no, that's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and there's things like that to where, and then now look at every video you see now, the fucking the Lemon video.
Yeah,
She's gorgeous.
Oh, I'm not hating on her or anything like that, but because she do look bomb. But I just wanted like that would have not flown at all.
Yeah.
10 years ago, they'd have been like, get this porn off our television. That's a whole video dedicated to that girl's ass. Like. Come on, man. Like, it's only because people like the Kardashians and shit made it popular. Do you remember when Serena Williams would get killed for her outfits? Mm-hmm. Like,
to this day.
We need to, that needs to be clear. If you're doing anything and you're basing it off of any Kardashian or Jenner, that's coming from a black woman that they have taken that thing from.
They had to get
including
surgery.
Their lips, their ass, their hairstyle, like all of that. They are profiting from things that black people were born with or black people do or black people were raised with without ever giving credit, without ever fucking having to go through any kind of struggle. So if you're taking anything away from them, know that it's a cultural appropriation thing. It's not theirs. It belongs to black people.
let's get a little deeper into this, pause. Are we to blame for this? Because there's a lot of stuff that we let slide.
We as in what? What do you mean by we?
Basically minorities. Are we to blame for because we let so much shit slide, or we let so much the thing that I hate, we bring up the Kardashians, right? It's clear that they steal black culture. It's a bit they haven't denied it. Like people call them out and they just don't care at this point. And niggas continue to stand next to them, which is my issue. And then you have Kylie Jenner, which again this is gonna be kind of a deep dive, but Kylie Jenner, she is pretty much copying her sister's blueprint, and then she just happens to have a kid with Travis Scott, who's again, for niggas, especially young niggas, Travis Scott is one of the dudes. He's these kids think he's an icon. Mm-hmm. That's their fucking Prince or whoever the fuck we were looking up to back in the day or whatever. That's them. He's him to them, right? And stands right next to her. But also, if you know Travis Scott, he's very active on black issues, and he's always talking about this shit and everything like that. So then I look at it and I'm there's a part of me who's I get it, love who you love, like who you like, that's fine. There's also part of me who is but you're also the problem, because you stand next to these people and you allow it to happen. The same thing where there was something today where, if you guys remember, Miley Cyrus had that album a couple years ago that was really her best album, when she was fucking with basically all hip hop. She had Michael made it as her executive producer, and she had all these bangers. I think the album was called Bangers. And she had all this dope music, and she was that was her peak. She was at her most popular. And after that shit, she got so much backlash. I remember a year went by and she was I'm not doing hip hop music anymore. I'm going back to my roots. It's too sexual.
And then she blamed the weed, which is weed does not make you do any of that stuff.
But it was so funny because she was so blatantly racist without being cause she's it's too sexual. I hate how they disrespect women while you were twerking, dancing.
You fucking made a profit off that shit.
Off of every bit of it. And then today it came out that she's going back because her last project was shitty. She's going back to Mike Will Made It, and they're doing another album. And I looked and I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. How? I'm like, nigga, you gonna go back? Like, after she made all this money, left, shitted on everybody, you gonna be like, all right, it's cool. Some niggas gotta be held accountable for this shit, honestly.
Who would really refuse the money though?
If you are a stand-up person and you know what's going on, you can refuse that money. You can. Mike Will Made It is not broke whatsoever, at all. Half the fucking production you hear on the radio is half of his producers anyway. He didn't need that. That's the shit where I get angry because I'm like, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
Why are we gonna fight this shit when then we're like, oh no, that's bad. Like, because I feel like what it is, honestly, with these celebrity niggas is they choose who to pick and like who to point out and be like, no, based off fame and popularity.
And that's it. It doesn't matter what they said before.
Doesn't matter. You let Madonna come out today and be like, you know what, I love Drake and Migos, whatever. All them niggas will be at her door trying to make an album.
Yeah.
But we just gonna forget how Madonna completely disrespected Aretha Franklin and made her whole tribute about her. And didn't give two fucks. This is what we gonna do? All right, man. Like, that's why I get mad. Cause I'm like, I don't want to hear none of this whole like when these niggas scream Black Lives Matter and shit on Twitter and everything, or in their records and shit, and then you go out and you still do fuck shit. What's the point? You're telling everyone that who consumes your shit that this shit don't matter. It's all about money.
Yeah.
I can sort of like not blame Travis Scott for like going after Kylie Jenner and like being with her.
She's bad. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like even your first reaction with like when we showed you the Blackfish movie, it was just like, damn. Because it was just like, it wasn't about anything else. It was just about the look. But then when you dive deeper, you're like,
Wait a second, though. Did you find Kylie Jenner attractive before the surgeries?
Of course not.
I did a little bit, but I have different tastes.
Well, me, hell no. Of course not.
Like, have you seen pictures of, like, Kim before the surgery and
Kim,
before
no.
the makeup?
Kim was
trash.
Yeah, like all that.
So, like,
shredded dash.
The older three, yeah.
That's what gets me is that, like, all these people, like Travis Scott, like, you like Kylie because she has black features.
Right.
But she got her lips done, she got her hips done, she got her ass and her tits done. So, like, all you like everything from a black woman, just not on a black woman. So how hard are you really standing up for black people? You know?
I feel like it's a trick too, because like we grow up like finding that attractive, because that's what we see, so we find that attractive. So like when someone else has it, when we don't, like Kylie has it, you're like, damn, because that's the stuff we're kind of like programmed to like, because we grew up with it. You know what I mean?
And then
and that's like the trick of like it tricks your brain, and then like you forget all the bad shit that the bad shit that they're actually doing.
But it's like she's still white though. Like she's, you know, like. So I feel like as much as you're attracted to those features, you like them better on a white woman. You don't like them on black women. So that's an issue. That's where I feel like people are still kind of like systemically fucking brainwashed to feel like, you know, we're still in that Eurocentric beauty standard wave that we're trying to hop off of. Because there's listen, Travis Scott could have gotten any black woman that looks just, who has Kylie's body and just darker skin, and I'm sure that they would have wanted him just the same and had his kid just the same. But there's something about those features on white women that people go crazy for, and that's the sad part. That's what fucks me up. Or I'm like, how, like, are you really standing up for the culture if, like, you're just hanging with fucking culture vultures? Like, what are you doing? You don't care about black women.
For the record, I like all those features. Better on black women. It just looks better. Like, it's just more. I don't know what it is.
See,
it just looks better.
That's the thing. That's when it comes to like the whole. I don't know if it's a self-hate thing or systemic racism. I don't know. I
think
fucking
so,
know.
because
but
there's, you know how many dudes are like, I'd never date a dark-skinned woman, and they're fucking black. Like, you were birthed by a you came out of a dark-skinned woman's pussy, and you would never date
You can't prove
a
that.
can't prove it. It wasn't my choice though. If I had a choice,
Had a choice, bro?
I'd
have came out of you.
That's so disgusting.
Such a smooth little line. I know.
So
You wanna
let me
write
just
that
get you.
down? Mark, I'll write that down for you.
Thanks.
Whoever's talking to Mark in the DM, just be aware that this is coming.
Shit
your
coming.
way.
And then shit's gonna come.
But yeah, like that's the thing. Exactly, that's the shit that. I always go back to middle school because middle school was like the real culture shock.
That was our first experience with a lot of white people for both of us.
Do you remember? I'm not gonna say it, but there was this one white girl who there was maybe like two of them. They had
Allison. That was just a white name.
I didn't know there was no whatever, but they had like they were one of the white girls that had like fatties, right? And I remember, like,
I think I know what you're talking about.
I remember niggas and, like, all the minorities, we loved them. They were like, oh, shit. Oh, my God. Like, one of us got a, yo, look, I don't care who, whatever. We just need to know and everything, right? And they would, they would come around, flirt with the niggas a little bit. They would never be with a nigga, though. They was always still with the white boys, right? There was a whole bunch of girls that took our bus. There was a whole bunch of girls that we knew of. Or at least, like I did from certain people and everything that were just as thick as them girls. The only difference was they was black. That was the only difference. Or they were Hispanic. And it wasn't even taken as, like, the same thing. Which to me was crazy. Because I was like, yo, so-and-so is cool, but did you see fucking whatever? I'm going to say a name because they don't know who the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. First name.
Well, no, here's the funny part. The black girl I'm talking about, her name was Shannon. Super thick. Like, crazy. Like, and I was like, oh, my God. She was as dark as that fucking Fire TV cube or whatever. I thought she was beautiful.
Almost purple.
Like, no, but I'm serious. Like, look, she was gorgeous, all right? And, like, niggas, we was like, oh, my God, all right? But then everyone else, she can walk by, nobody cared. The funny part about it was, after a while, because niggas is chasing, these white girls and everything. I remember she started to like one of the white boys there, and that hurt my heart so much because I was like, "Damn, man!" Like, cause niggas like we don't know. And the thing that's crazy is like the white boys will appreciate that shit more than we would. Which is, to me, insane. I don't get it.
It's the Serena Williams thing. I'm sorry. But, like, everybody for ages was shitting on Serena Williams. She looks like an ape. She's too manly. I'd never date her. Really? She looks like a nigga.
Wow.
What? Like, oh, my God. Shitted on forever. She gets married to a white dude, and everybody's like, how could she be with a white dude? That's disgusting. She fucked up the and it's like, after all the black men shitted on her, and none of them wanted her, now you're mad that some white dude has her?
Common.
That's on you.
Fuck you, Common. Drake. Fuck you, Drake.
Right?
Y'all all had the chance, man, and y'all hit, and y'all didn't care. Like, that nigga cared. All right, that's why I get angry, because I'm like, man, what the fuck? And then, like, you can't sit on one side and be like, nah, man, but we fucking niggas is taking the culture and everything. We on this. But then on the other side, you like, like, I'm trying to think of fucking, like, Kanye. You know what I mean? Like,
Kanye's such a piece of shit.
Like, he was the embodiment of, like, niggas. We was like, if there's one nigga who's honest about everything,
right,
it's that nigga, right? All his songs and everything he talked about was, like, black. Like, honestly, today, imagine if Kendrick just randomly in 3 years was like, you know what? Everything I talked about, I was wrong. Oof. And I actually love white people. And they're not doing anything wrong. And he dumps his girl and gets with, like, fucking, I don't know, like, whoever, right? The same impact on these kids that Kanye had on us, they would have it. And they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, right? And that's what I'm talking about with Kanye, because everything he did was like, oh, it's pro-black. He made, like, non-black people accept these, like, body types because of his videos and shit, and the girls he would have in it and everything like that. Before Stacey Dash was a piece of shit, that fucking All Falls Down video, I was like, Stacey Dash is gorgeous to me, right? And she was the whole focus of that whole video. You didn't give a fuck about the song, nothing, right? And he was doing shit like that, which was dope as fuck. And then,
but But see, even that, where she's fucking light skin, green eyes.
Was
True.
she always?
I don't
I'm trying to think
know.
of Clueless, and
I feel like
Yeah, she was always that like green-eyed, light-skinned black girl.
I want to
And
say
even if
she
she
was a little
light
darker.
skin,
a
like
little
she had the
darker
green eyes.
during,
Like it does something.
Yeah,
I think she was a little darker though during Clueless.
she was a little
Yeah.
darker. She was still nigga. Like now, I don't know what she is, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. To where like and it to me is just crazy because it's weird to push for shit and then you don't support really what you're supposed to be supporting or whatever. But also, I'm not trying to say like a lot of these niggas, because a lot of these niggas a lot of these black activists do a lot of dumb shit, and they say like, oh, you have to procreate black, and you have to do shit.
They
That's
go too far.
It's fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Alright?
When you go too far with like that kind of stupid little like detail shit, it's just kind of like,
and that's
alright.
just stupid, man.
Yeah.
Like again, love who you love. Not saying, but make it on the basis that you fuck with that person.
Yeah.
Don't make it on the basis of they look like some shit that you like already could have had, but because they're not that and they're so pretty to you because they have all this shit. Nah, that's foul. Like I don't understand the point on that. Like I don't get how these Kardashian bitches keep getting all these fucking niggas and they keep going through the same
It's the fame. It's
cycle.
the fame
I
that
think
comes
it's
with it
fame
for her.
and money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a name.
Yeah.
You know.
You get a picture, like a picture is caught with you two like holding hands, something like that. Your fame goes from here to like way up here.
Right.
So it's kind of like I understand it. It's still fucked up, but I understand it as far as like if you're doing it for business, maybe it's okay. I don't know.
But let me tell you, if Rihanna, if Beyonce, Janelle Monáe, but even though she's can't, whatever. But if they like, if Beyonce was like, I'm tired of Jay-Z and married a white man, it'd hurt my heart. I'm like, there's no hope. There's no hope no more. Forget it. You know what I mean? Like, if Rihanna was like, which she's been with white people or whatever, but she's never been like, this is my, like, if she did that, I'd be like, oh, God, no. Like, there's nothing we have anymore. They've taken everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I was thinking earlier, like, tell me if I'm wrong. I felt like maybe at least black women were taking it back because of people like SZA, Janelle Monáe, Beyonce, I guess. What was the other one? Rihanna. I forget the other ones, but they were like making all these videos, and it was no whitewashing at all. Like they had their curls, they had fucking curvy ass butt. Oh my god. But like for a while, I was like seeing a lot of those.
I'm like, why are you sweating, man?
Cross my legs, real quick. But I feel like because all their videos were like that, and I was just like, damn. And I was just like, they're showing off the true stuff that we grew up with seeing. Am I wrong for that? Is that wrong or is that?
What's the question?
Like, is that them taking it back, taking the culture back, and making it their own again? In mainstream media.
I think they're highlighting what was always kind of there.
Yeah.
And I think that those are voices that are always going to be heard. Like, as much as we give Kim Kardashian shit, we're all nobodies. Like, we're going to be on some shitty website as, like, a comment of hate towards her,
Right.
But I feel like they had a voice and they have the power to... Like, when Formation came out, everybody was wilding the fuck out, Like... Everything she was saying in the video was dope. She's in, like, it was just black people. So I feel like they just took the spotlight and was like, okay, I got it. And like put it on the shit that we, like you said, that we grew up with. So we've known about that shit forever. And I feel like they were just like, yeah, let's just go back to this.
So do you think, like, let's say the Kardashians never made that a thing. Do you think people like SZA and Janelle Monáe, like, doing the videos they're doing right now, it would be accepted?
No. I'm just gonna say no.
Wait. What?
So without the without the Kardashians making this stuff popular in mainstream media, right? Like they did what they did, they got the credit for it, and now people are doing it, right? If that didn't happen, and then today SZA came out with like her style, the videos that she's making, do you think that would have been as accepted as it is right now?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so. And I think it would have been better because, I feel like what the Kardashians did was make it okay when non-black people do it. And I feel like it would have been so much better if Formation came out 10 years ago and, Don't Touch My Hair came out 10 years ago. It would have been like, oh shit. But more towards like, okay, black women. Not just, okay, Armenian women. Oh, okay, Latin girls. Oh, okay, white girls with fat asses. Like, it would have just been like, cool, black people. Period.
Yeah. Where would white people be without black culture?
Not a fucking, without any culture.
They'd be like aliens.
All the fucking like white people you see in yoga classes, that shit's not yours. Core power yoga isn't where yoga fucking started. That's not your culture. You want to sit there with your fucking namaste bullshit. That's not your culture. Matchas aren't your fucking culture. Like, there's nothing that's considered white culture. From jump, there was nothing. So all they have is everybody else's shit to take from, and then they do what they do best and try to take it over and make it theirs and make it popular. And it's okay now because white people like it, so it must be cool to go do hot yoga. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but I was going to just go back to the reason why I said no. It was going to be because the one thing that they did do that they do deserve some credit for is I feel like they gave you like the cookie cutter version of it and they made it acceptable for us to be like, all right, move. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like without them, I feel like we're still in the same pattern that we were back in the day where it's like, nah, like nope, can't do it too much and everything. But people like them basically making it like spoon feeding people to be like, okay, you know what? Big bottoms aren't that bad and things like that. Like, it was like, okay, now when you see a Beyonce, and she throwing that thing around, you're like, oh, okay, this shit is whatever, right? Like, prime example, before like the Kardashians and shit like that, Janet Jackson's titty was like, oh my God, this titty, like it's ruining children or whatever. This is something that you legit, if you didn't have a DVR, you did not see that. I don't care what anyone said, all right? It wasn't until someone then made it an actual clip and recorded it and then whatever, that's when we saw it. I happened to have a DVR back in the day when that happened. So I saw it and I was like, oh shit, right? But the funny part about it was before that, right? Janet Jackson had just got off, the reason why that shit happened, Janet Jackson had just got off one of her most successful tours. It was called the Velvet Rope Tour. And
is that when she was doing all those dances with the people on stage? Where she,
right.
Shit was dope.
And this was like,
good job, Janet.
This was like, I think like 01, 02 or whatever, right? And HBO, she partnered with HBO to film it and shit. Look, my mom watched that shit. If you watch the Velvet Rope Tour when it came on HBO, you think the titty was all you was seeing on HBO. It was fucking hell. It was awesome. She would go back and change in the outfits, and the cameras would stay there. So she would legit get butt ass and thong in the Velvet Rope Tour. And she would butt ass, she'd go back there, get butt ass, and then change, or she'll be like in her fucking thong and bra and everything. You see her change the outfits, and I was like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean, right? And I found it so funny because I was like, we just watched this shit. Like, why is everyone so outraged over this shit or whatever? Over an accident. It wasn't meant to happen. You know what I mean?
With that, I feel like it's just that fake outrage of porn's been a thing forever, but everyone disowns it.
But here's where I make the parallel. Yeah. The parallel was that happened. They were like, oh my God. A couple months later, the Paris Hilton sex tape drops. Tell me if I'm wrong. Every morning, your ass woke up and the news was on. No, because I did. No, no. But every morning, your ass woke up. Every morning or every night you went to sleep, news was talking about that fucking. It's porn. And they were talking about it like it was like Paris Hilton's trying to find out who leaked her sex tape. And I'm like, it's porn. And you keep showing little screenshots of porn. Is no one thinking about this right now? This is porn. And but then people like her, Kardashians after that and everything, made it okay. To be like, all right, some shit happens. And then, like I say, it took them to be like, all right, since y'all got us here, now get the fuck out of here. Let us take all this shit back.
They will, eventually they will burn out.
I fucking hope so.
They
I
will.
feel like
I don't know, man. They Brazilian.
I'm saying like the older ones.
They're like 16 seasons into keeping up with the
They-
But that's
Kardashians.
only because
Boy.
I think they're only making this part because of Kylie, because the younger ones.
That's
After
what I'm
they're
saying.
old, like what do they? No one's gonna give a fuck after they're old. Like I don't see Kim anymore. I don't see
I feel
Chloe
like
or the other one.
I just feel like it would have
Her name's
happened
Courtney.
by now.
Okay.
She's like the only decent one too. She at least stayed with the fucking white guy.
She hates niggas. Never fucks with any niggas. Which I'm
She's
like,
fucking right.
cool,
like,
you
fucking
like.
cool. Be you.
I'm like, I respect it.
Only one with no fucking lip and
She don't fuck with
it's
niggas.
fine.
Period. Which is awesome. But
I
we
really
support your racism.
right. That's cool.
It's true. It's honest.
We're okay.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Huh? Like fucking own up to that shit, and I'd be totally okay.
She ain't never hinted at it. It was like
Nope.
I think there was a portion where like her and the dude broke up and everything. You didn't see like, oh, look at Courtney's new beau, and like it was some big talk. Nope, it's the white boys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I like her. You keep that white shit in there. She's like, I'm not fucking with you niggas. What?
Direct quote.
Dick's too big. Nah.
Can't fit. Hurt some of the walls.
But I was gonna say because we gotta do something right now because we're basically highlighting basically black and white or whatever. But we also got to keep it a buck.
Let's take white people out of it.
Take white people out of it. Niggas steal from Asians. Like we steal from Asians a lot.
I always thought it was the way around.
But we steal from Asians like because they make so much shit popular over in like their countries that then we go visit, we make cool, and then basically they're cool with us because we make it cool, but then we give back to them. So it's basically what we want white people to do. But oh yeah, Pharrell, nigga, no, like you swagger jacked all that shit, and you know you did, which is fine, like
Indirectly.
like which is okay. But like we've done a lot of stuff. Like we've taken a lot of stuff from them.
So
But there's an equal obsession.
Right, that's
Because
what I'm
Asian
saying.
people are obsessed with black people.
They love the culture,
and we love them right back.
which is fine.
But they're not fucking taking shit and like
being like, you ain't getting this back.
right.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just different when white people do it.
Right.
I think there's just way too much history for it. Like it'll always be too soon.
So, like minorities give credit to each other.
Yeah, and
I
we're
would
all
hope.
fucking struggling.
I would hope
Yeah.
that they do.
Asian people have a hard fucking time. So do Latins. So do blacks. Like white people are always on top, and they're the ones always taking, and they never, ever, 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 ever have to suffer. Like all you get is your feelings hurt. This whole podcast is gonna hurt your feelings, but it's never gonna keep you from getting a job.
Yep.
It's never gonna keep you from getting fucking, I don't know.
The style that you want.
Right.
That
Like
style,
nothing
whatever.
in your life changes. Your feelings are just hurt for 10 minutes. You're gonna go talk shit about it, and then you're gonna feel better. That's not how it works for everybody else. So when like minorities do it to each other, when we like take cultures, it's a fucking appreciation of it. It's like, yo, Japan is doing some shit right now. I'm trying to get in on that. Cool.
that.
And Japan's like, black people, awesome, let's go.
Fucking we can
And
merge
we're
up.
all fucking struggling at the same damn time.
Like, shit. I was gonna say something about like, oh, yeah, I just learned a couple days ago, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I learned that like breakdancing and shit is actually Latinos.
What?
It's not like I learned that from whatever. Like apparently, like that was something like I don't know if it was like Spanish Harlem or somewhere. Like they made it popular, and then we added it to like the elements of hip hop, and then pretty much it was like a collaboration. And there you go,
Yeah.
type shit. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm saying like it's fine because we know that we're both going to the same place. We get it, right?
You raise each other.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
which is fine or whatever. Yeah, but there's a lot of things that we share through minorities, which is A-okay. I feel like when Hispanic and Latinos started to get fucking lineups and shit and all that shit, it was like, cool, man. Like, you're welcome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, it wasn't like we were like, hey, fuck you doing or whatever. Like, why you trying to, whatever. Like, we were just like, all right, man, that's cool and everything. And it's like I think we transfer culture, and white people would just steal it.
Just appropriate.
Yeah, they just take it or whatever. But we can easily transfer culture or whatever. Like I don't care if like Hispanic kids wearing Jordans. I'm gonna be like, damn, some nice ass Jordans. I ain't gonna be like,
Right.
wait a minute, that's us or whatever. You supposed to be wearing fucking Cortezes or whatever, like or whatever, man. Like like
Huaraches or something.
something. And like shit like that. So I feel like it's different for minorities, but I feel like white people just they take and then don't give back, and then.
And I want you to hear this: other minorities that are weirdly racist
Oh my
towards
God.
other minorities.
That's a whole nother fucking podcast.
Yeah,
I really don't
really hear that.
I really don't fuck with y'all, man. I don't get it.
It's
I
so
don't.
fucking weird, man.
It's the weirdest shit ever.
Yeah. Because again, white people look at you the same.
The exact same. We are all in the same boat.
Yep.
There is no fucking like, oh no, because I'm not black.
Doing this, yeah. I'm not getting a lineup. I'm seen as better.
I'm better than them or whatever. That's the stupidest shit ever. If you can't like bring yourself to understand that or whatever, you're just as bad as them. Y'all should just both go be with them.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And with white people, I think understanding your privilege goes a long way as to being like accepted. And to being like, if you want, like if you understand your white privilege and you decide to get box braids, you'll be seen as like the friend that you have in New York. Like it's okay. Kind of. Sort of.
My best white friend.
Just don't do it. That's my stance. Just
Get permission. Get a permit
Don't, no.
signed by at least 100 black
No.
people.
Don't do it.
My best white friend is racist as shit, and I love him to death. Like, cause it's just honest.
Because it's fucking real.
Like, it's just honest, man.
And
like,
that's what I feel like white people need to, like, I'd rather you just be fucking outright racist, and then I know that I'm not gonna fuck with you, and that's it, period. You can live your racist life, I'll live my fabulous life, and, like, it's fine. But, like, own up to your shit. Don't sit there and be like, I'm not racist. You're racist because you're mad that I'm wearing this. It's like, fuck you. Don't, if for a long time, if you're white, just stay away from the fucking, like, hair braiding and the fucking bamboo earrings and the doing all this shit that you've always grown up to hate black people doing. All the shit that was considered ghetto, that you use the word ghetto to describe, don't do.
Don't
do it.
Real quick, because you said ghetto, you made me think about something. Also, that shit,
Ghetto.
that shit that is now becoming trendy, which is the whole like being real at like events and shit, and like doing like the fucking Tiffany Haddish thing where she's like oh I wore this dress 3 times, I don't care, or like going to present with no shoes on and shit, and like they started to do that shit too, which I was just like, don't do that, because like no, y'all was also the ones who fucking this Versace dress and everything like that, and now all of a sudden Jennifer Lawrence is screaming out in the crowd like, hey, girl, like get the fuck out of here, like that shit, nah, like I don't fuck with that, because again, you're only doing it because it's trendy, and now you're seen as when y'all do it, it's fine. When Tiffany Haddish does it or whatever, like which is. Do you guys think, this is gonna be my last question, do you guys think that sometimes like our cultures, sometimes we cancel each other?
Like we're too busy fighting each other.
Well, it's like that, but it's like, do you think sometimes like when we get to a point, like we really don't want to see niggas at the forefront too much, that we have to tear them down? The reason I said that was because like Tiffany Haddish, like she was just being herself and everything like that. And it went from a point where at first it was niggas was like, hell yeah, Tiffany, everything like that, to then it went to, weirdly enough, I don't know, it was like overnight to where it's like, you know what, she ain't really funny. Mm-hmm. Or you know what, like, man, why she keep wearing that white ass dress, man? Like, you making niggas look bad or whatever. Like, and it was just like, this is the same stuff that we co-signed her for. And now it's like, nah, Kevin Hart, the same thing. Kevin Hart was fucking hilarious. Remember, like, niggas was like, he's the funniest comedian ever. And then all of a sudden it's like, he's not funny, his movies suck and he's corny.
I feel like, you
like,
know what
damn.
it is? At the beginning, it's like, I don't like Tiffany Haddish. I don't like what she's doing. I never did.
I've
she
never
was
seen the
great in Girls Trip. Fucking phenomenal job. It was wonderful. But she became such a character of herself, just like Kevin Hart did.
Or of a black person.
Right. Like, you became... And you know what? This is tricky, because they reaffirm what white people already think about us. And
right.
Those thoughts that white people have about us are more times than none negative. So she is the monkey at the zoo that everybody's coming to watch act out. because it gives them permission to go home and be like, oh yeah, black people say go girl. All of them do. I mean, Tiffany Haddish is doing it.
So
And
I
that's
can do
what
it.
they're doing. You know, that's what Kevin Hart's doing. That's what Tiffany's doing. Where all they're doing is going, yeah, white people, what you thought was right. So let me show you. Let me act out extra. Let me do extra. Let me be extra to make that money, which is partially like, cool, make your money because all these white people are fucking stupid to buy into that shit. But also realize what you're doing to black people. Because you're not putting us in a good light. Fuck
At
no,
all.
you're not. All you're doing is making us look as bad as they have thought we've always looked. You're not sitting there uplifting,
Yeah.
you know?
You think like it starts out like as a genuine thing, but then over time, because you're looking at it constantly, you start to see it becomes disingenuous over time.
Yeah.
Is that the thing?
For sure, because I feel like, once again, Girls Trip, amazing. After Girls Trip came out and Tiffany was everywhere doing the same shit,
She was the
somebody
same
would-
character in every
Right.
other movie after that shit.
Right, and you know somebody was like, just do the thing that you did.
Yeah.
Just like turn it up a little more.
Just be you. Be
Right.
nigger.
Right. You know, do
R.
the black thing. So I feel like it's that. And at that point, I don't think it's that we don't want to see them in that light. I think it's like, if you're going to be there,
Be genuine.
do something good with it. Don't fucking sit there and make us look like ignorant, uneducated people,
Yeah.
which is what Tiffany Haddish is doing.
Cause I'm thinking about like Gambino. Like he's been popular for a
Fucking
long
phenomenal.
time, but it's been constantly genuine throughout his career.
But stop hiding your white baby.
Is she white?
Mother.
She's
I thought she was
Asian, isn't
Asian.
she?
Whatever. Stop
I'll give
hiding
him the
her.
pass if she's Asian.
Nah, man, stop hiding her, man, because he's done that shit. That's what I'm talking about. You decided to be with that girl, man. You keep like, it's fine. We don't care. It's so stupid because
Maybe
it's
her
like,
choice to stay in private.
right, which is fine. If that's his choice to stay private and shit, cool. But the thing that is weird to me is like, you make like these statements, this music, these movies and shit, where it's like, I don't fuck with none of that. And then you have this, like, at least be honest. Be like, after whatever, you can, like, you know, when you're saying all this shit, be like, well, let me clarify. My baby's mother is Asian. She is not black.
Yeah, but I will say in the
Like-
first album, he did talk about how.
But no, but it was all jokes. Cause it's what niggas forget about Gambino. Before, he wasn't fucking all pro-black. He was not. He was not at all. And when he was fucking writing for 30 Rock and all that shit or whatever, and being with Tina Fey and everything, those first two projects, nah. He was all with the white people. He was the safe nigga in the
But
rap
he
game.
talks a lot about not being appreciated and liked by black people because he was the black nerd.
Yeah, the blurred.
Which wasn't okay then. So I feel like that was his kind of like scapegoat. Like it was like, well, if they like me, I guess I gotta be with somebody.
That goes back to Mark's point then that he made earlier. So if something's working and you're popping with this, is it okay? Because that's the thing. He became popular off the black nerd shit. It wasn't for us. I think I was the only nigga who actually liked him. There was nobody in these hoods or whatever champion that nigga. They all thought he was corny.
Of course.
Like, it wasn't until that second album where he was all like depressed and he was being a nigga, he was talking about nigga shit and everything, that niggas was like, you know what, this dude's dope.
But that's the transition, was that he started with one thing and then got to pro-black. It wasn't like Tiffany and Kevin where it's like, hey, pro-black, and then they got there and now
Right.
they're like, okay, white man, what do you need me to do?
Right.
Can I dance for you?
Yeah,
It's like-
that's what you're doing. Like,
But that goes back to him because I feel like he transitioned, which is fine. He grew, but he never, like, it's for some reason it's like erased. Like, they don't talk about that shit with him, which I don't understand. Like, it's never talked about. But people who grew up, like, who listened to him before he got popular, musically at least, we know about that part. Like,
Yeah.
I know him saying fucking Asian girls everywhere, UCLA. I know him saying, like, he trying to fuck these white bitches on NBC. Like, I remember all that. So I'm like, to me, it looks weird because I'm like, all right, are you trying to be a character of yourself now? Because it seems like you're just omitting all this shit that you did.
but he's not, I don't feel like he's shedding a negative light on black people and black
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Which is, I feel like, the difference. Like, I feel like that's what happened. And I feel like that's why he gets love and that shit gets a pass. Because I feel like, in a weird way, it was also owning that he as a black man could fuck all those white bitches in NBC, you know? And he could, like, you know, he was fucking with Asian girls, but because he could, because he was the black dude that was like, oh, I'm gonna get this shit.
And because he was kind of rejected.
And that,
by
like,
his own people. Like.
Right, black women weren't looking for him. Black women were not looking for Childish Gambino.
But see, here's the thing about shit like that.
When he had his fucking unibrow and his
he
uneven beard.
We could smell you through the
and
TV.
He was musty. But see, here's the thing, right? Because I was real quick because I gotta fucking go. But fucking Jordan Peele, right? Jordan Peele made that statement after Get Out and shit when he was at the top. Once again, of like all black culture, and they were like, "Yes, nigga, you get it, and he was like, "Yeah," and he being a real nigga, doing an interview, and they were like, "You know, your wife's white. How can you make this movie when your wife's white?" And he was like, "Keep it a buck. No black girls want me." He got killed for that. So this is what I'm saying. I feel like there's moments where we pick and choose who the champion and who not. To me, when he said that, I understood that completely. Not because, like, me and black girls always been cool, whatever, right? But I get where niggas come from, because I've seen niggas like that, who, when they like the white girl, and they like the Asian girl, whatever, because the black girls thought they was ugly, or thought they was corny, and shit like that. This goes back to me saying we gotta turn and look at our own people, because, look, a lot of, like, and I'm not trying to be, like, disrespectful or nothing, but not every nigga is gonna be 6'4". Not every nigga is gonna fucking rap. Not every nigga is gonna play a sport. Not every nigga is gonna fucking sell drugs. All right. In between all that is a bunch of other niggas. All right. Y'all gotta fucking like start to give niggas a shot.
And please don't get defensive about this statement.
Like, do not, because this is what I hate. Because like, and it's been made by our own outlets and shit like that. That shit is corny. Like, having a real job is corny. Doing like real shit is corny. Like having one girl is corny. Like,
it is though.
Like I don't get shit like that, because to me I'm like, it grows that shit. It grows like the whole like, oh, you ain't got no swag, get the fuck out of here, I don't want you or whatever, because I'm looking.
You just go to where you're accepted.
Exactly, which I don't fault them for.
Yeah,
because I feel like we turn our backs on them.
I say don't get defensive because this one time me and Dwayne were working at a radio station and they were having like this like real talk discussion or whatever. This one guy that was saying like, oh, we got to look at ourselves and like educate, like just take care of our like education and blah, blah, blah. And everyone was just like, shut up. Yeah. Like, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear about like fighting the police and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this guy is saying the smartest shit. It's the hard route, but it's the sustainable route. The other one, it's like, it's flashy and everything, but it fizzles like this. No one wants to get arrested. You know, like no one wants to get arrested for a cause that there is just trendy. Like they're not going to care about the next month. But like the whole educate our people, like the real history, just all that shit. Just do that. But it's hard, and people don't want to do that, and people don't want to hear it either. That's why I said don't get defensive.
Yeah, I feel like people, when Adelfa said like no one wanted, like when Gambino was like fucking fucked up and shit, which is true, because he was like whatever. But again, I just look at it differently, because then when they have the money and shit, to me, niggas still ugly. Like, but
he's cleaned up.
But
physically, he's gotten a lot better.
Right. Here's the thing I laugh at, because then like now all of a sudden all these women have all these pictures of him when he was fucked up, and they're like, look at Bay, and like I'm like, stop lying. Like y'all didn't want that nigga, man. Like Jordan Peele's corny ass, y'all didn't want him. Like or whatever. That's where I'm like, all right, money does clean up some shit. Like don't lie, but don't act like y'all wanted these niggas beforehand, because you didn't.
Again, if you're honest about it, it's all good.
Yeah, like I don't care.
Yeah,
nigga ugly.
The same person was just like that person. He was ugly back then, but now he's hot.
Of course,
cool.
Be honest.
Like, yeah.
I feel like sorry to be that person, but like the work needs to be done on both ends.
Right.
Like the same way black men want black women to give them a chance, like black men need to stop bashing black women for absolutely everything.
100%.
Like, enough with the fucking I'll never date a dark-skinned chick. I don't want dark-skinned kids. I want mixed kids. I want light babies. Like, that needs to stop on every end. Like, completely. And I feel like that's the way to move forward. But on the cultural appropriation thing, to end this, white people, braids are not okay. Cornrows are not okay. Yeah, that's debatable. Box braids, all that shit, passion twist, like whatever the hairstyle is, because that's what'll define you. That's what people see right off the bat.
Waves.
It's
Fuck
not
out of here. I'm do it.
okay because there's so much that you don't have to deal with that you get away with by, it's trendy when you do it. And black people go to fucking jail for the same shit. You cannot do it. It's not okay. Just don't do it. And you have the choice. So make the choice to not do it. We don't necessarily have that same choice.
Find your culture.
After playing Halloween, you can go back to being white.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't do blackface. Putting on darker makeup is a form of blackface. This girl on Instagram is doing blackface and she's blackfishing. That is disrespectful. It's cultural appropriation. Don't do that shit.
If you want to get darker, get a tan.
Don't. Just fucking be white. Accept your whiteness. It's what you have. Fucking relish
Whatever your
in that
natural
shit.
tan is.
Sit with that and enjoy how shitty that feels right now in this moment because it's the couple years, not even a year or two, that being black is trendy and now you can't handle it. So you want to do what you can to fucking up your blackness. Let it go. Sit in the fucking shit that you have to deal with to be a white person right now. Which is not really liked. It's not really wanted. It's not what's sought after. Deal with it. That was our fucking reality for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. You can deal with it.
Be actually woke, not the trendy woke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be real.
On a real note, let's get the fuck out.
Hit him with the plugs, please.
You can find us on YouTube. How do I know you? You can find us easier by putting the hashtag HD.
Oh, IKY. My
There
bad.
you go.
Sorry.
I can't spell.
Zoning out.
On Twitter, you can find us at How Do I Know You with the number 1. Cute picture of a hippo. You can find my personal one at I am Mark.
At DC Junior 13.
At Adelfa MarR.
Bow.
See you.
Like, share, comment.
All that shit.
We want to discuss shit with you. Give us your opinion, all that. And yeah.
But as we end every show, if I don't know, and you don't know,
Who really knows?
and how do I know you? Catch y'all next week.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace.